Yeah, I live in Gresham. We bought a house in June. It's our first house. Well, we had a house, we had a family house, but we lost it. We lost it in the 2008 thing. And that was really tough. So I worked really hard through like days and nights, like some of my mom's most healthiest days to get this house. And now she's gone. And I have the thing, but I don't have a mom.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm dealing with that because the realization is like, I've been fed, oh, you got to have this thing, this object, you got to get it, get it, get it. And the person who I got it for isn't even here.
Right.
So
I have the person.
that's my why. Like it's not, they're not just actions. Like if you would have met my mom, you would have loved her. She was like the nicest person you could ever meet. I literally watched her nurse people from death. At her homegoing celebration, she had a good friend. She got hepatitis C from a blood transfusion in the 70s,
Really?
and she got really sick. Like she was a beautiful woman, black woman. She had long hair. It had all fallen out. And when I remember, she's like my Aunt Cheryl. I knew her my whole life. I like hugged her and I could feel every bone in her body.
Oh.
And I was like, she is not gonna make it. And my mom brought that woman food every day and brought her weed so she could get her appetite up and smoke and eat. And that lady, next time I seen her, her hair had grown back. She had gained her weight. She sold her parents' house and left. Yeah. So that's my why, and so I want to check in with you all to see, just to check in, just how you're entering the space on a scale of A to Z and why, whatever that means to you. And why are you personally doing this work?
Okay. You want to go first?
So why are we entering this space today, kind of specifically, or?
You as a person.
Yeah. That's a good question. I don't know. I am entering this space sort of. I haven't given it much thought today. Honestly, I've been pretty preoccupied by a lot of things going on. So I guess I kind of feel good because it's sort of a nice break to not focus on all the work stuff and but I don't know. It's not a great answer.
I mean, we're new into the business world. We're new into business, and we're all learning every day a lot about business. And I think it's exciting to have the opportunity to go through this as a company and kind of lead our team through it. Because, we in the public world, we probably never would have had that chance. So I think that's cool. Just the opportunity of growth is cool.
That's awesome.
I like that.
As I say, I'm definitely coming to this space overwhelmed because I was gone for a week, so I'm playing catch up today. But the reason that I'm doing it is because I would really like to be a part of the change.
Yeah. Yeah. So sorry, it's been
a hectic Monday.
It's an excuse, but we've been very busy the last couple of weeks, so it's been we're just kind of jumping back into this. So we apologize, but we're here. We're all here.
We're here. Yep, we're engaged. We're here.
We're all entrepreneurs here. So that's one thing you got to remember is that you're talking to a business owner too. And
yeah,
single member LLC. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
I
I'm
mean,
the person who's reading your homework, watching your videos. If you ain't doing your homework, I'm wondering why. I got to send a follow-up email. I got to send the curriculum. I'm the accountant. I'm the social media expert.
yeah.
So
it's tough because you got to be an expert in everything, and you have to give your all to everything to everybody all the time. So, we're just trying to. There's a lot of changes here right now, so we've been trying, but yeah.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you for that. Thanks for your honest check-in. So did you have the opportunity to review the checklist for social justice?
Yes.
How was that?
It was eye-opening.
Tell me more about that.
So it just kind of planned out that we still have, we have a lot of work to do.
Mhm.
And the struggle is in our community, it's gonna be, we've got to get connected with the right people.
Yeah.
And it's just a busy time and a hard time. So a lot of people aren't really wanting to connect due to COVID, but we've got to reach out there and find the right people to connect with to make some positive changes around here.
Yeah, because there's some good people out there doing good work who would love to work with you. You guys have a great product. I tasted it, so I
Yeah.
liked it. You might have a little customer over here. We're gonna see if you can have a client over here. But I liked it. I liked your product. So I'll
Nice,
put
thank
that out
you.
there. And what are your names? Because normally people come in, I can see their name.
Yeah. I'm Dan over here.
I'm Eric. We're brothers. I don't know if you could tell with the mask.
So Dan's on the left. Who's in the middle?
Eric.
Eric.
And then Allison.
Are you the sister?
No.
Might as well be though.
Yeah.
She's here all
Been
the
here long
time.
enough.
Awesome. Did you have an opportunity to review your assessment?
Yes.
Yeah.
So like basically the internal audit,
Yeah.
or you mean the assessment that you just sent out of our first questionnaire.
So yeah, before we started our workshops, I sent out an assessment and y'all participated in it.
I actually just was able to take a look at that. And yeah, I did. I looked at that and kind of the same thing. It's just shows that there's definitely work to be done. I think Dan's gonna pull it up so we can all see it real quick.
Yeah, pull it up and take a minute to look at it. So everyone that I'm working with this is their opportunity to kind of create intentional space to do some homework and just like look at it, kind of come up with a plan and some actionable items we can actually do,
Assessment.
Yep. There
So
you go.
that one is
And
that
maybe
ours? or is
looking
that
at the right
ours?
one, there's two of them. So there's one, you as an individual company, and then there's the village community, because we all contribute. So there's the individual I, and there's also a collective we, right? So that is, you'll see the results from both.
Right.
We didn't do very well.
You know what? That's why we're here.
Yeah.
Right.
If we were perfect, I guess we wouldn't need to be here.
Yeah.
Right. But one day you're going to be the teacher. Y'all are going to be the leaders. Honestly, y'all are a smaller team, but I honestly believe that y'all are going to be like the strongest out of everybody. I don't know. It's just a feeling I have, but we're going to see. We're going to see.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to pull it up myself too. My biggest fear was sending the wrong assessment to the wrong company. There's nobody to blame but me. That's the only thing about I won't have any employees, so there's nobody else to blame.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is actually, how long have y'all been around?
We've been about 10 years, but kind of the beginning of the story, our mom started the company. They were her cookie recipes.
Mm-hmm.
And the first like 5 years or so was kind of just her selling them to random stores and kind of small scale, right? So Allison's actually been here longer than Dan and I, but we came in 3-4 years ago now and have really like figured out how to get it into grocery stores, and we sell them all over the country now. So
Wow, right on. Most definitely had a no-bake cookie before I met you guys.
you had or
Yeah, that's
Nice.
actually kind of cool.
Hmm.
It's cool. I'm gonna sneak up on Killer Burger soon.
right.
I could like come up with a no-bake Killer Burger.
I haven't had one of those yet.
They look good.
They do look good.
I'm hoping that there may be some type of collaboration. I love when collaboration occurs. So
Yeah.
to really because we're gonna actually study this white culture, and there's different aspects of like white supremacy culture, not white culture, but white supremacy culture, where there's like competition. right? We're a competition, like, oh, I gotta be mindful of my secrets. Somebody's gonna try to take it from me, or kind of like the scarcity mindset.
Yeah.
But what we have been doing, when I say we, I'm talking about some Black people and Black women specifically in the Black community, is to compete who can promote each other the most. So who can work with each other the most, who can support each other's business the most, who can, drive more business to each other's businesses the most. Like, it's been wonderful because we're all, and guess what happens to us?
We all grow.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that. Okay. How many
Yeah,
people?
it's cutthroat.
Oh, go ahead.
It's definitely cutthroat. It's there's a lot of difficult competition.
Yeah. But I don't really know how many no bakes there are though. How many, like, what's your market look like for no?
That's
Y'all are in the
us, yeah.
market, so I can see that. But then, like, how many people or organizations don't make their cookies at all?
Yeah, there's one other one, but they're kind of they're not really branded. They're more kind of like they sell to Walmart under Walmart's brand,
Mhm.
We're really trying to own like the story behind No Bake and our mom's story. Like we're trying to kind of tell that and wrap a brand around it.
It's really just us. I mean, we sell nationwide and it's really just us. So at least as a branded product.
Wow. Is your mom still around?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. She still work?
She does the fun stuff.
Yeah, she gets to do, she does like goes to the trade shows and marketing and stuff, the fun stuff basically.
Mhm.
She's kind of semi-retired, I would
Yeah.
say.
Y'all are trying to keep it that way, right?
Yeah.
Us moms, we can't just let our kids fail. Like, we can't. I be trying to let my kid fail. I hope I try. It's hard. It hurts my heart.
Yeah.
Let me
It can
see.
be healthy, right?
It depends on what the failure is, yep.
To a certain
To a
extent.
certain extent, you have to learn lessons, I guess, not fail. There's a difference.
Failing is okay. I know I'm a fail. Somebody reframe failure for me. So like, it's like I failed, thank God I failed now instead of later. Let me fail now. Let this look like this now, to the point where in a couple of years, people won't remember that your assessment looked like this. They're gonna be like, oh my God, No Bake. Oh my God, they're doing all these things in the community. Oh my, I love No Bake. Oh, let's have a No Bake party. Like, like, who knows what you can do, but it's really up to you guys about what you're going to do. And it has to be intentional. You have to be open and willing to accept coaching, and to be uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable sometimes. I was talking to somebody, I said, you got to put an equity statement on the front of your website. And it was like, I gotta say something. Oh, it's in our employee handbook. Isn't that good enough? Like, no, you have to say something. Okay. So what are you guys noticing about your assessment? What do you notice?
There's obviously room for growth. I mean, that's
That's a given.
noticeable. Yeah.
I think, well, what I see is a lot of opportunity in it. Like currently we're really small. Leadership is pretty much just us right now. We are getting ready to move to a new facility, a bigger facility. We're going to have a lot more positions available in management and upper positions. So I think we'll have the ability at that point to reach out to get some really, to get some people in with different backgrounds and qualities to hopefully enrich our team over here. But right now it's the only people that are coming and going are people on the production floor. And that's, unfortunately, it's more of just whoever's willing to stand on their feet for 10 hours and put cookies in a box. And not everybody wants to do that. But I think we have a lot of room for growth. And I think that it's going to be a big part of our near future.
Mm-hmm. And where are y'all located?
So within Bend, we're on the south end of Bend, but we are building out a new facility on the north end. And that's going to be a big change in our operation here. We're going to automate quite a bit. And we're going to be able to provide a smaller number of, well, probably the same number of jobs, but they're going to be a higher wage, a better job, because it's more machine operators than actual manual labor. So we're going to produce more cookies with the same amount of people, but step up the job. So that's really, at that point, it's a great opportunity to reevaluate everything we're doing. And we're
Yeah,
going to be hiring some other key operators also at that same time. So right
excellent.
now we're just trying to get people in the door to fulfill our current orders until we can automate. But
Okay. So I'm hearing some homework in there.
yeah,
So the homework I'm hearing, because this really could be really excellent for your brand to be known as being inclusive, because that's not exclusive of white folks. It just means you're including other people. So that means you're going to have more people from diverse communities sharing your product, especially if you treat them well. If you treat them well, there are people who want to stand up for 10 hours. And there's people who also want to, be creative with your social media. And they also want to, you know what I mean? Like there's so many different things, and you could reach so many different markets by having diverse communities, and then who speak different languages. They could put it in different languages. Now you have a whole untapped market because everything was in English. You know what I'm saying? So like there's so much, especially my Latinx community, Black folks, we share, like there's a reason why people market to us, because unfortunately, we spend a lot. We spend a lot. We have the highest rates for diabetes, and unfortunately, y'all sell cookies. So
yeah.
I mean, I feel weird even saying that.
How, that's an interesting question. I mean, you've seen our product a bit and our website and stuff. I mean, how do we speak more to those communities, do you think?
Let me actually pull up your Instagram right now, because I most definitely stalked everybody.
Because that's a good point. I mean, we're not really, when we market,
It's mostly about the natural products that we're selling.
we talk about the products. We
Yeah.
don't really necessarily think about who we're targeting.
The product, not the customer, is what we're.
Yeah.
Right. One thing I see is a lot of white hands and a lot of white people. So even though like I love how some people just kind of stick to marketing the food. So I see a lot of food and a beautiful food and like, oh my God, savory. But then if there's a human who comes in, I pay attention to who the humans are. Who do these people value as humans? Do you have your Instagram up right now?
Yeah.
We're looking. Yeah.
So I want you to go through and you tell me what you notice.
Carol.
That's my wife.
It's all very homemade.
Yes.
You see a white hand.
That's my child.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What do you see?
It's definitely focusing on the product. I mean, it's kind of the opposite of the Apple, marketing, where they focus on what you do with it and the end user. We're definitely heavy on the product.
And that's okay, because the product looks good. But when you see people.
But yeah, if we focused a little bit more on the consumer, then we would be able to show more diversity.
Yeah. Because right now, all I see is white hands and white children.
Yeah.
That's literally because it's all family.
That's just because it's us.
Y'all need to start mixing, okay?
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking when we were talking about culture. You were like, we're family owned. And I'm like, well, how is anybody like me supposed to get in? If y'all not mixing, then y'all gonna stay like that forever. So what's it gonna be?
Yeah. I mixed, but she won't go on camera.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's too shy.
Yeah.
Also, my daughter's a model. Reach out to, it's not very expensive. At least we ain't getting paid like that. But there's a lot of children out here, these modeling agencies. I know Ryan Artist is where my daughter goes through. She's done Amazon so far, and Hannah Anderson and all these different, But my daughter's also a light-skinned person. So I'm mindful of that as well and the reason why she gets the jobs. And so I want to make sure that even though my child is beautiful, that I'm also including other kids and other identities of people. So like for me, leaning into understanding like queerness, right? So I'm, have some trans, I went and followed some trans folks, online to build up my social media and then also get awareness, but promoting, I don't always have to say something. I don't always have to say something. Sometimes people are already saying what I'm saying.
Mhm.
So like even with your social media, look for people who have similar products as you, or who are, thinking kind of similarly minded. Like I can't get Ben and Jerry's out of my head. I had so much gas last night. Like sometimes I'm so lactose intolerant, but they're getting me. They're like so cool. And Starbucks tried and they kind of failed. They tried the external, but they didn't do the internal. They were like, okay, we want to ask questions. So they were kind of risky with it.
Yeah.
Did their one thing of diversity training, but they have how many locations?
Yeah.
Can I ask what about Ben and Jerry's?
Yeah,
At
what about
Princeton?
that they're vocal and they have fun with their media and their advertising. So it's like even though they're ice cream, right? They're using their platform for social justice.
Mhm.
So if you look at the Empress Rules platform, like Ben and Jerry's, like I don't know who they have working on their team, but they got it. Like they're getting it, and they're like, I care about you. That's what I'm hearing. Like I don't even like ice cream. I'm a sherbet
Yeah.
person. I am a sherbet
Yeah.
person.
How
You know,
do you,
yeah.
this might be a difficult question, but you said that's what we're doing, right?
Yeah.
I see on Ben and Jerry's, it looks great, but it appears to me that they're kind of taking a political stance, and I don't want to do that. I mean, one way or another, I don't, as a company, want to take a political stance. It's a bad business decision, right? You're going to alienate half of your customers, whichever way you go.
Potentially.
And that, in my mind, that's totally different than inclusiveness. Like that should be bipartisan. That shouldn't matter, right? We all should want to be inclusive. So how do we do that? Especially like our customers we actually don't sell that much in Oregon or California.
We don't.
We sell in Texas. I mean, that's just who eats our cookies. We sell in Louisiana and Georgia, and so how do we tackle that, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah. So what I'm hearing you say is that you're concerned about taking a political stance. And I guess I'm wondering what political stance is Ben and Jerry's taking?
Well, like that one talks about some administration there up at the top, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're talking about, there's like
Federal executions.
Now the Trump administration is rushing to carry out more.
I mean,
It's a political statement. I mean,
Yeah.
well, there's a impeach Trump now goes.
Yeah.
I mean, like I just think like personally, you post that, you say what you want to say, but as a company, that's probably not gonna be a good thing.
Why do you think that?
It's purely a business decision. It's
Alienate half of the
yeah,
customer
I mean,
base.
So you feel like standing up for social justice or, being inclusive of other communities and being vocal about it would alienate you?
as a company possibly.
No, well, I think those are two different things.
I think the question is, how do you separate? How do you stand up for those things without?
Like you could have, like, some of these posts are great. They're social justice, but some of them are just kind of outright.
Some are
Like,
just political.
it has no ice cream. It has nothing with it. It's just basically saying, Trump's doing federal executions.
Mhm.
Like I don't. That's taking a political stance, and that seems weird to me.
Okay. I can understand that. I can understand that. I can understand that. What is it? What are some of the things that Ben and Jerry says that you feel comfortable? Because I hear you, and every organization is different. Every organization is different. And I guess the challenge is that what happens if you say nothing? What does that actually mean if you don't say something?
Right. And that's why social justice is fine. I mean, there's a lot of great posts on here that in my mind is social justice, but when it's just talking about Trump, I mean, it'd be, you know, I'd be saying the exact same thing if they had, you know, something anti-Biden, or I'd be saying the same thing. It's just taking a stance in general.
Yeah. So maybe you don't do that. Maybe you stay away from that.
Yeah.
So what are the social justice aspects that you appreciate that you see?
That's funny.
That's a funny one.
That is funny.
What's her name?
Which one?
That I forget her name. She's the comedian.
She's a
On
comedian.
Netflix,
She's funny.
yeah.
She's always funny.
Probably Sis.
But like, power to the people. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like there's the one with all the hands. That's kind of cool.
Yep. There
Where's
you
that?
You scrolled by.
Oh, it's up
Oh,
there.
that
Yeah,
one?
that one.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
making a
like,
peace sign.
See, that's
Yep.
just being inclusive and social justice. That's great.
Yeah. You got to find where your niche is.
Yeah.
Well, everybody isn't at the place to be hardcore yet. And some people, when you have so much money, it don't matter. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter at that point. Ben and Jerry's has been around for a very long time.
Yeah, we want to get to Ben and Jerry's status.
Yeah, right.
And then we can take a political stance.
Yeah. And so now you got to be covert, right? We talked about the spectrum, right? We just don't want to be complicit, though. We don't want to be silent. So I love how you're like, social justice, let's be inclusive. Let's make sure that we have diverse hands in our pictures. Like,
Yeah.
power to the people. I love that, right? That's, you know, we're talking about a community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're talking, you know, there's a lot of posts about voting. That's awesome.
Yeah. Because that's not, you're not taking a side. You're just saying, go vote.
Yeah.
Use your voice. That's
We all need to do that. Yeah.
fantastic.
Love that. That's great.
Well, that's helpful, I think.
Yeah. I'm just kind of looking too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a lot.
I don't think I've ever been on their Instagram. This is,
I haven't either.
That might also be your homework too, is to look at other organizations, you know, in your industry or similar industries that, you know, promote social justice while also promoting, you know, whatever type of, whatever it is that they're selling, and kind of get some ideas from them. That's what I did. Like when I first got into DEI, I looked at my mentor's website. I looked at everything that he did. I went to all his workshops. You know, I took every training of his that I could take. You know,
Yeah.
He knew what I was doing because it's racism. You know, like there's enough work for everyone.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't really defined who we are as a brand yet. I mean, that's kind of the next chapter here. So we're hiring some marketing people or a department or something, or a company, and really going to define that. So it's good timing.
Yep, absolutely. And then be mindful about the identity of the person that you hire.
Mm.
So be intentional about who you hire. That is equity in action.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like marketing, let me try something different, try someone different. You know, being intentional. What else am I thinking about? So I'm looking at this. Some homework here. Seems like you guys got a couple ideas. Who does your social media?
Nobody really. That's the problem.
Nobody and everybody. Well, recently we have a woman here in Bend locally that has an agency, and she's recently been taking that on. And then our mom is sort of involved as well. She's kind of doing some of the pictures and stuff. So this is good. I mean, we just started working with her, and I
stuff you can
I
talk
think,
about.
I think we have a real takeaway here. I mean, we
Yeah.
can go back to her and say, hey, we need to get some diversity just
Make sure she's
in the
inclusive,
pictures
yeah.
and yeah.
And make sure, I mean, if you're not a person of color, you know, you got to kind of just be mindful of that you might be going, you know, to a white person, asking them to be inclusive, which,
Mm.
you know what I mean? Like,
Mm.
it doesn't mean it can't happen, but, you know, I would just be mindful about that area.
Yeah. Right.
You know, I like to sprinkle the money around if I can. I like to give as much as I can. So just a little bit about my business. I've been in business this is my second business. My first business was 3 years. It was a business entertainment mentoring program for kids. Because I grew up around gangs and drugs and was a drug dealer from like 14 to 27. You know, I was running around with people who could have been Fortune 500 CEOs, but because of the situations that they were born into, you know, they died or went to jail. Like that's what happened. And so I went through a lot. So I didn't want kids to go through the same thing that I went through. You know, I changed my life. I got a master's degree, but during that time I seen the love of my life get murdered in front of me, you know, and there's just things I didn't want these kids to go through. So I started this, they learned how to create a business from scratch, all that. So that was my first business. This business I started in 2016 while I was still working for somebody else. I knew I was never going to work for anybody else again. And I think my first year I took a loss. My second year, I made $13,000.
Nice.
Okay. And this year we made $250,000.
Nice.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
very impressive.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I don't know where it went because I was like, this doesn't feel like it. I don't feel like this.
Yeah.
The more that comes in, the more that has to go out. That's just
Yeah.
facts.
We worked with 31 businesses. We collaborated with them for change. And I'm actually currently working on how to quantify that because what happens is I work with people like you and y'all go off and do great things. I don't hear anything about it. Like, you know, and I see you like 5 years, we were the #1 for DEI and all the West Coast. Like, and I'm like, whoa, you guys were so green when I met you. Like, you know, look at you now. Like, that's awesome. So like a place where people can like share. So that's what I'm working on this year. It's just all the organizations getting together and it's going to be called Share the Good News. And it's going to be probably some type of like luncheon or something like that. But like even if it's via Zoom, like, you know, where we can just get together and share the good news. But I was able to reach this many folks and I'm going to go for 500,000 this year and 50 businesses at least was because you see who I work with. I work with diverse people. So they share in multiple different languages. They talk about Empress rules. My Victoria, that's my sister. She's Latinx. She speaks indigenous of Mexico. You know what her network looks like? I mean, she owns a media company. Go to her website, Lara Media. That's what they do. That's somebody you most definitely can reach out to. Iomita, she's a yoga practitioner.
Really?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have people from the Ojibwe Nation, Nakia. That's my work wife. I call her my work wife because she fits all my details, because I'm a big picture person. She fits all my little details in there. Afrida, she was in the military. That woman is a Sagittarius and she will pick every problem out of everything that you have. And that's wrong. And that's wrong. And that's wrong. And that's wrong. So that's what I get. That's what I get out of having diverse people around me who have had different experiences. So I feel like your homework, because you're getting ready to launch and I want to make sure that you're prepared, is that y'all need to put together a communications plan. You guys do that?
What do you mean?
So a communications plan, and they terrify me when I look at all the work I'm supposed to be doing, is basically saying, I'm going to communicate with this person at this time for this reason. So it's like, on my plan, I'm going to say every Sunday, because I work on Sundays, every Sunday, I'm going to go on Hootsuite and I'm going to find 10 images that represent what I want to convey to the world about diversity, equity, and inclusion. I'm going to do that. And I might do 10 days worth of tweets or whatever. and have them so they're pumping out every 2 or 3 hours, and I have nothing to do with it. That might be part of it. It might be reaching out to a social media expert on this date. This is what we're going to talk about. I'm going to communicate. So you have to, so part of your homework, what I want y'all to do is to educate yourselves and find out the communities, diverse communities of color that are around you. So where are they located at? Where are your culturally responsive organizations? So any organization that is based on different cultures or identities, and build relationships with them. Introduce yourself, maybe offer a 10% discount or something. That's not going to hurt you to gain all the new market that you're going to get. You know what I'm saying? Like I will quickly give out 20% to any practitioner, anyone who comes to my wellness cohorts gets 15, 20% off of any training that I do in the future. You know, I charge like $250 for just a session. So per person. So getting a list of where all those organizations are, building relationships with them. So then when it's time to share that you have opportunities, it's not tokenization. It's not, oh, I'm just going to have this transactional relationship with you. Yeah. You know, like I know I want something from you. And so I'm just going to come to you when I need something, but start now. So when you start hiring, you already have relationships. You already have like, yeah, you have relationships with these organizations, and you can say, hey, we have new opportunities. Can you please share them with your networks? Because people aren't going to try from Portland to Bend. Like, it's just not going to happen. Probably not, you know? So where are those organizations located? And then think about, go ahead, question?
Yeah, what's an example? I'm trying to think of like what those organizations are. Like, what would be an example of one of those? I mean, I'm trying to think, like we have Warm Springs Reservation nearby, like maybe that's,
yeah.
Is that
considered drugs?
Yeah.
What else?
I would assume there's some.
Bend is not very diverse.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I don't know if you.
It's not.
It's.
So, let me see here. The Latino Community Association of Oregon.
Pretty big.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Your nonprofits. Okay. Nonprofits at. Are there any culturally responsive or relevant organizations? Like even asking them, hey, look, we want to just be transparent. You know what? We want to be diverse. We're not a diverse organization right now. We want to be. And so we're building partnerships with people in our community because you guys are our community members, and we want to introduce ourselves because that's what a good neighbor does. I'm also really good at selling things too, by the way. So, you know, that's what a good neighbor does. And so we want to build a relationship. We want to get to know you. We want to support you in whatever, however we can support you within our capabilities. And also we want to provide opportunities. We're going to be hiring soon. You guys have like a job board? Do you have an HR person? Are you aware of any other organizations here? Because we're not really seeing a lot. Honestly, we're kind of segregated. You know, there's not a lot of people of color that I'm aware of as a white person here. Yeah. So I need support in making sure that we're sharing these opportunities with diverse communities. You know, is this something that you would like to participate in and be a part of? And they get to say yes or no, we don't want to, you know, and that's okay. Everybody doesn't want to be our friends, and that's okay. Somebody said, Kelsey, you did a great job, and we're just, you know, we're going to follow up with you next year. And I was like, oh, they'll be back. So.
Yeah. No, that's a good idea. I like that. We'll have to brainstorm a bit, but.
Yeah. So I want you to find 10 organizations because they're there. I'm seeing stuff where your college is at.
Well, it's just COCC.
We have
and
Oregon State Cascade
Satellite,
campus is here.
but they're all closed down.
Oh, they're all closed right now.
But they're still probably going to school online, and there's probably still kids who live here, so or live there. So to look at those culturally responsive clubs. So the Black Student Union.
That's a good idea.
Any type of club, any type of we call those affinity groups. Any type of affinity group, diverse affinity group you see.
a good idea.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm just giving y'all all the juice.
You're giving us the answers. Yeah.
I'm just getting you started. And so you could get rolling. And then I'm going to, as we develop a relationship, then I'll get harder on you later.
That's fair. Yeah.
I'm just loving you now. What other ideas do you think?
Well, marketing, staffing,
Marketing stuff and,
the language on the other languages is a good idea.
um,
Yeah, it's kind of internal and external, right?
Yeah.
I'm kind of the external, and these two are.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking more, how do we sell the products to, or talk to, a diverse group of people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm trying to figure out how we want to tie it into our day-to-day culture.
Yeah.
So how can you? How do you normally get people to learn about something?
Conversations, usually training,
Hmm.
suggestions from them on what, they think we might be lacking, or it's generally how I go about it. Circle everybody up, have conversations.
Yeah. It's going to be some work. There's going to be work involved. But the cool thing is once you normalize it, it'll be nothing. You'll do it naturally.
I think one of the things that Allison has probably struggled with is just, we can never get enough people in the door, regardless of who they are, just to fill the spots, and so I mean, that's kind of, I think with the move, that'll hopefully solve that, because we'll be able to pay more, we'll be able to take care of people a little better, and
Yeah,
less
we're a more
involved.
sustainable position to work for our company. We want people to have a living wage and to help support them in their personal lives, which emotionally, I want to say we do that really well. I have an open door, and everybody comes and talks to me about all their problems, and I love that about our company. So we do have some openness there, but yeah, we want to be able to pay people more and benefit their personal lives.
I'm going back. I'm looking. So on your social media, the only hashtag you're using is no bake cookie. And that's not how hashtagging works. So
I'm fully aware of that.
only people who look for the no bake cookie, that's all they'll find is that. So if I don't know what no bake cookie is, then I will never find you.
Yeah.
You want to look at social media trends. They actually have apps that tell you what is trending today. You Google trending words today.
Yeah.
And find some trending words that you feel comfortable posting in the picture. And then when people go to look at stuff that's clicked, so like I look for DEI stuff. If you tag DEI, unfortunately, I don't like when people abuse it, but if you tag DEI in one of your pictures and I click, it's going to show up on my stream when I'm looking. And then I'm like,
there's got to be a line there somewhere, right? I mean, at what point does it just become a marketing tool? And then that's kind of inappropriate in my mind.
Yeah, I mean, integrity is important.
Yeah, authenticity.
You can't advertise it if you're not actually.
Like, we shouldn't just add that to our posts now, right? That's not very authentic.
Correct. I just use it because I'm addicted to DEI stuff. So I just click it and that's what I look at.
Yeah.
I forgot, I was gonna ask you, you mentioned Starbucks and how, I thought they were pretty good at that. Are they, you mentioned you didn't think they were that great at inclusiveness, or?
No, they kept having problems. So they kept hiring. I mean,
they seem pretty good.
Like the examples that I've seen, because you got to remember they're a franchise. So it's not like, they're one thing, they're a franchise. And so if the franchises don't do their due diligence and make sure that being inclusive and mindful of diverse cultures is important. And
Yeah.
when Black people come in, don't call the police on them, or you know what I mean, follow them, or then you're gonna keep having problems, and it reflects poorly on the brand. It represents the whole brand, and that just sucks. So if you make DEI and learning, and just even if you guys are practicing like lunch and learns, I love lunch and learns. Lunch and learns is like an opportunity for us to get together. It's totally voluntary, and we can learn something. We can watch a video. We can talk about a book that we're reading. Like there's organizations, they read books together. They do all types of stuff together because it's a part of their culture.
Yeah.
It's not forced. It's not forced.
Right.
But as people start talking about it and get excited about this cool stuff that they're doing, people who maybe weren't with it, they become interested because they feel like they got left out, like I'm not participating. Like I want to know too, like, what are you guys talking about? What are you doing?
Okay.
Yeah, that's interesting. They definitely know all the right things to say. Like we're looking at their Instagram.
We're looking at
and
their Instagram.
But
Are
yeah,
you looking at?
they're probably not.
Starbucks.
Oh yeah.
You're right. Like all their franchise.
But this is their
Stores.
This is
corporate.
their corporate
Yeah.
site, so it doesn't reflect what each individual store
Yeah.
projects.
Let's look at the color of the hands on Starbucks. There's one hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, they change. They're
Some brown people.
Green.
I bet they have a whole team of people that make sure that's.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And until you normalize it, that might be what you have to do.
right.
Yeah.
Is to say, okay, how many, let's be intentional. So when you're hiring, you cannot discriminate against people, because of the color of their skin, but you can choose where you market.
Yeah. Right.
So, be intentional about where you're marketing to. If you're by the indigenous communities, then market there. Do a lot of marketing there. Do a lot of the Latinx community. I know that they're out there. Find out where. I'm sure they would like to make some more money. Like I'm sure that
We actually have several Latinx people on our staff.
Yeah. So, and there's some sprinkles of some Black people in Ben. I be hearing the stories of the traumatized Black people.
Are those stories still out there? I hope not. I know it used to be.
Oh, and Bend?
Yeah.
I don't get out much. I have 4 children and a full-time job, and I do my husband's bookkeeping, so don't get out much at all in the community.
Well, we will be looking at gender roles coming up soon, so we will be looking at those as well. So let me see here. What's your homework? You got to come up with a communications plan. It just says who you're going to talk to. It's a plan. Who are you going to talk to? What are you going to post? Who's going to be in it? Do you need to hire somebody if you don't have the people to do it? You're going to look at your culturally responsive organizations. So where it sounds like there's some tribes around there. Also ask if they have any references or recommendations that you should also reach out to. Make sure you come with humility, please. Humility and transparency. Because if you don't, it will not be well. So, yeah, and I would say, who are the contacts in those places? When are you going to contact? What's their names? When are you going to contact them? Set up a meeting, introduce yourself, who you are, what you want, why you're there, what you hope to gain. What do they hope to gain? If anything, are they interested? And then I like to offer something. If you don't have anything on offer, I understand. But if you say, hey, by the way, here's whatever, like, we can offer this, whatever you feel like you can offer. It's just, to me, it shows humility and sincerity, and also like diverse cultures. I'll speak for my culture. Like, I always try to bring something when I'm coming to somebody's house. So that's how I look at it. It's like right now, you guys are in my house. I'm in your house at the same time because we're in Zoom. But if you come to my house, Like, I want to make sure that I have, a nice feast for you, that I'll take your coat. I want you to sit down. I want to ask you how you doing. You thirsty? Like, just be humble. When I come to your house, I'm going to bring something. I'll bring some food. I'll bring something to drink. I will wash my own dish. I will ask you if you need help in the kitchen. Of course, you're like, no, but I'm still asked anyway, and just make sure I clean up after myself. So those are the things I'm mindful of when I come into somebody else's home. So when you go to their home, just be mindful of those same things of like, they don't know you, and to just be humble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good point.
That's good. That's a lot of work. Is that a lot of work?
I don't think it's too bad.
I think it's doable. Yeah.
I think we can take some immediate steps with our social media and kind of our branding position. I mean, that's something we can do right away.
Yeah.
Cool. Excellent. And I'm going to assign you the first three items on the social checklist. So you have to have a shared definition of racism and anti-racism. And for those people who are afraid, like I'm afraid to put anti-racism because I haven't made enough money yet. I get it. When you get the big bucks, you're gonna be all fully anti-racist. I'm excited about it. But until you become overt, you want to be a covert anti-racist, make sure it's in your employee handbooks. And that you're sharing this in your orientation with people. We are an anti-racist organization. Say it. People don't have to know that out loud, if you're not ready to say that yet, but think about what does it mean? Because if you're not an anti-racist organization, what are you?
I don't think we're not.
I don't have any problems saying
No,
that.
we're an anti-racist organization.
Yeah,
for
I've never
sure.
had any problem saying that I'm anti-racist.
Yeah,
so
no, we have no problems with that.
Our handbook's pretty thorough.
it is pretty, yeah.
Does it specifically say that you're an anti-racist organization?
Yeah, Jake had somebody go through it, but was that you that went through it? This was several months ago.
Before we started.
I thought it was an HR.
It was a DEI
Oh,
consultant.
Yeah.
I don't think it was me.
This could have been before Jake had even met you.
Yeah, so no, it wasn't me.
So, yeah, it's pretty thorough.
Good. Well, we have some hours together, so if you guys have questions along this road, like let me know. Let's set up a meeting. We can go through it. If you want help, support with your hiring and how to do it, look at your job descriptions, take an equity lens to your job descriptions. Oh, and then also think about your demographics of your hiring. Be intentional. So I'm working with this organization. I've been with them this is my third year. They just renewed my contract, which is like really cool. When I first started with them 3 years ago, this Black consultant was like, don't work with them. They're never going to change. That's what they told me. And now they're like one of the leaders in energy for DEI.
Wow.
They're the big sibling of DEI right now. Are they perfect? No, absolutely not. But they are like killing it right now. They're killing it. They are not only that, but they're bringing their partners along. And yes, there were challenges. They had a very white supremacist board. Very. As a matter of fact, one of them accosted me my first time actually being in the organization. It was actually a catalyst. You say what?
I said, really?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
We're going to talk about intersectionality. I'm Black and a woman.
Yeah.
I also look people in the eye. And I'm very direct and I'm not always nice. There's a difference between being nice and being kind.
Yeah.
Nice is like, I was just wondering if you could please, if you have time, if you could just, take a couple seconds to, I know you're really busy, but like, I'm just like, Dan, how's it going? I need those papers at 3:00. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I need those at 3:00.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
So, but I'm Black. So I'll get, she's a BI, TCH or whatever, or how dare she, and get triggered. Like there's people who posted in the group who turn in written work. And I'm like, I asked for a video. So take it back and make a video. Like, they're gonna be really mad at me about that. Or they may not do it. And I wouldn't be surprised because I'm a Black woman. I'm used to white people feeling like they don't have to do what I ask them to do.
Mhm.
You know, so there's intentionality around everything that I do, because after this, we're gonna talk about tokenization, but then we're gonna talk about the responsibility process. Like, how do we take responsibility for our behavior? You know, everyone in our workshop so far has broke a rule. They've all broken the ground rule so far, including myself. You know, somebody didn't follow the protocols and agreements. Somebody used use statements. Some people didn't isolate race in their stories. Some people didn't turn in their homework on time. So, you know what I mean? All that stuff is about participation, participate fully. You know, so it's just gonna be exciting to see what happens. Yeah.
I still haven't done my video, so.
I've done
But
it.
I don't like being on videos at all. I'm super shy when it
Yeah.
comes to that.
I know. I don't know that. But I will tell you, this is why my job is so wonderful. Because you see how you say, I'm super shy, I don't like being on video. By the end of this, do you think you're going to feel the same way?
Oh, yes, I've felt that way for 38 years. I love to sing. You will not catch me singing in front of people, but I actually have a really good voice. So I want to do it in front of people.
So what is that costing us? You
I
know,
don't know.
I'm 32. I play the guitar and I sing. I need a singing buddy.
There you go. I
There you
think
go,
we should-
Yeah, it just
We could
doesn't
post it.
happen. I just clam up and I can't. Doesn't even matter how many drinks I had at the bar for karaoke, I still won't get up there.
All right, well, you're going to sing at the end of this. Like,
Yeah, I
Good
agree.
luck.
I should have mentioned that.
Good luck. My husband tried for 20 years.
well, I will say that there is hope. I know it's 3:00 and you guys have a busy day, but I will tell you, there is this, when I worked at this organization that woke me up. That's what I say, is woke me up. I wasn't like this always. I was very naive to race. I was like, diversity, no diversity. Like, you know, I was a token in an all-white organization. I didn't even know it. And this organization I went to woke me up. And there is this beautiful Black woman, and her hair was shaved, and she had like this mohawk, and she looked like she was a model. She just looked so powerful. And we were like, me and the staff, we were like, who is that? We got to know her. She's like there for a job interview. And so we got to know her a little bit. She was really cool. She was deathfully shy. Like super, super shy. And she had to get on a facilitation team because every advocate had to facilitate. And this was like her worst nightmare, like whatever. This woman, this person, sorry, they're non-binary. This person like explored so much about themselves through this whole process. They really leaned into it. Now they're a facilitator. They're facilitating all over the United States. I wouldn't be surprised if they've gone outside of the United States. They went back to college. They did so many different things because they were willing to be uncomfortable and to step outside of their comfort zone. And because of it, we got to learn from this person. All the gifts that this person had been like holding on to themselves because they were so scared, you know, now we get to see and we all get to benefit from, and we're better for it. So.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Well, I'm excited. Y'all are about to be the leaders in cookie revolution.
That's right. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. So have this stuff done by the next time I see you.
Yeah. All right.
Tomorrow? Oh.
Well, hope not tomorrow, right?
All right, y'all. Well, that doesn't count. The next time. Yeah, if you can have it done by the end of the month, that'd be really cool. But I think I want to see y'all at least once a month. That's what I hope it, you know, VFC is kind of like, let's see who needs it, depending on who needs more and who needs less and how we want to share the hours. But like within a month, I want to see what you guys have done.
Sounds good.
All right, I believe in y'all. Don't let me down.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Bye.